Ladies and gentlemen, I wonder if, as I have, you have felt the misfortune of having some wonderful garment lost at the dry cleaners. This happened to me just the other day, and I decided to do something about it. I went, got all dressed up, headed out to the cleaners, and there was a guy standing in the queue in front of me, and he had this giant pile of clothes. He was talking to the cleaner and giving very detailed instructions about each individual item. One, he wanted steamed but not pressed. Extremely elaborate. I took a few steps back and I dived into his giant pile of clothes. And I stayed there, and I stayed perfectly still for a while because, you see, I had come prepared. As they were sorting through these clothes, I was sorted myself as a jacket and hung up on the rail next to the jacket. Now, this is a particularly automated dry cleaner, and so this rail actually moves around like a conveyor belt, and so it gradually moved higher and higher and higher and higher. And I looked down and I was 20 feet above the ground, and I thought, why oh why did I go for the dollar store hanger when I should have gone for the real cedar thing, considering my life is depending on it? But I was doing this for my old tweed jacket. I really love that jacket, and I needed to find it, so I'd hang in there. My heart sank. In the distance, I saw the first part of the dry cleaning process. 2 giant brushes, sort of like the things that clean your car, spinning at high speed, and I saw the jackets in front of me. They went in and they were flying around. I just had enough time to cover my face. And I was beaten this way and beaten that way as the brushes beat down on my clothes, but I came out the other side. I was a little flushed, but I made it. Anything for my old tweed jacket. But I looked here and I looked there. I couldn't find it. I couldn't see the jacket. So I moved on to the next process. Now, my memory of the next process is kind of hazy, but I'm going to need you to use your imagination. It's dry cleaning not because it's actually a dry process, but because they use some sort of chemical treatment. Now, it's treatment. I use the word treatment because it is actually a treat if you're in there. It's kind of a hallucinogenic chemical. So I was floating around. There were clothes this way and clothes that way. Wonderful colors, wonderful colors. And in the distance, I swear I heard a band, you know, in tie-dye shirts, playing their sitars. But I passed out. I don't actually know what happened after that, except the next step of the process woke me up with a jolt. And that's where they start doing the twisting and the squeezing, and that woke me up. And I think I actually gained an inch in height that day after that. But I thought, okay, I'm in it now. I've got to find this jacket. And I looked left and I looked right, and I couldn't see it. And then I saw the worst step. It turned out to be the worst step. It was a giant contraption, kind of like something designed specifically to get Indiana Jones killed. 2 big steel walls closing in on each other. This thing was bellowing steam, and I realized this is where the clothes get pressed. And I'm kind of swung sideways and moved through and sucked in my breakfast that day. I was pressed kind of tight. Never looked quite as skinny as I did that day afterwards. But I came out the other side and I thought, you know, is this tweed jacket really worth it? Well, I've made it this far. Where on earth is it? And I looked up from my rail and I looked around and I couldn't see anything. And after that last step, kind of all the clothes, they get onto this S-shaped conveyor belt. So I was on the S-shaped conveyor belt moving around. And in the distance, could that be? No, surely not. Moved a little closer. And then I saw, yes, it was a person. There was another gentleman. He was hanging from his suit. He had his hat on and he was reading a newspaper. And I said to him, how can this be? What are you doing here? And he said, no, I do this every week. It's good for my paws. I said, aha, you've been here, you were here last week. Well, did you see my tweed jacket? It's kind of a standard sports jacket, 3 buttons, single-breasted. And he thought of it and he said, you know, actually, what you want to do is you want to hang in there, like I had a choice. You've got to hang in there and 2 more turns, have a look. I think I saw something that fits your description. And so I did. I hung in there and the first turn came. Second turn came, and I looked down in the corner, and sure enough, there's something that shaped sort of looked like my jacket. So I loosened my tie, took off my belt, and tied them together, abseiled down, got to the corner, looked at the jacket. Sure enough, that was my jacket. I dashed out into the sun, and I saw it. I'm so glad I saved that jacket, and you know, it was worth it because every day I wear that jacket. And it's a little beaten up. It has, you know, little patches on the elbow, out of need, not out of style. It has, you know, a few points where my trusty fountain pen ran and left some marks, and it's a bit moth-bitten, but I'm never proud of it when I wear that jacket.
West side,
Now
West
we'll
side, yeah.